Okay, good morning. This is Dan Bell. It is Monday, April 22nd, 2013, and we're sitting here with Martin Joseph, President and CEO of 360 IT Partners in Virginia Beach.
Good morning, Dan.
Good morning, Martin. I want to apologize up front. There's a lot of pollen in the air, so if you hear me coughing or turning away from the microphone, please excuse me. And at any rate, we'll press on. So, Martin, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for coming.
Well, why don't we start by giving us a little bit of personal background about yourself?
Well, I'm a local guy here in Virginia Beach. I've lived here since I was 7. Went to Green Run High School in Virginia Beach, then put myself through college at Norfolk State University. Worked a full-time job while I was going to college and lived on my own. And I guess kind of just a self-made kind of person who just made it happen on his own. And so I'm really humbled that we've been able to grow our business in the way that we have, and just have made great relationships and good customers and good employees along the way.
Well, that sounds great. In fact, I just made a note. The fact that you're a local guy, raised here, educated here, and the fact that you stayed in this area to start up your business and contribute to, of course, the progression of 360 IT Partners, but also the city and regional economy is a wonderful thing. What went through your mind and helped you to decide that you wanted to stay right here?
I love Virginia Beach. I love Hampton Roads.
That's great.
It's just a great place to live, and it's a great place to raise your kids. I love the beach. I love the water. The resources we have here are just envied all over the world, and I'm just proud to call this my home.
Fantastic. Well, let's go on to talk about your business. Can you give us a description and a history, and for instance, what year, and just from the ground up, what happened?
Yeah. So in 1990, I was working for a small mom and pop company, and while I was working my way through college, my mentor was Darl Anderson, who owned a company called Micro Marketing. And so I went to work for Darl, and they have a great family. They treated me like family there. And then one day I went to Darl and asked him if he'd be willing to give me a raise. And Darl, great guy. Of course he was a modest guy. He said, "Hey, I'm happy with the way things are," and I respected that. But then Darl decided to put his son Jim and make him president like within the next week, and I think Darl sent me a pretty strong message. And I loved Darl, loved Jim. They're terrific guys. But then I decided that they probably wanted to continue to grow their business as a family business, and I respected that. And I was approached by a friend of mine named Tom Conley. And we got together and we formed a company called Tomar. We were Tomar Management Corporation, and then we opened up a couple retail stores called Computer Station. Did really well by it. We did really well by going after some municipal contracts with some of the local municipalities. Did really well with that. But then in 1995, Tom and I decided that it was probably best for us to just go our separate ways, and we had a real amicable split. And I decided to rebrand as Tomar Computer Integration. We closed the retail stores down, and we really just focused on B2B, business to business. And we had humble beginnings with a nice firm base of customers underneath of us. And I took 4 other employees, and we started anew. That was in 1995. And then in 2004, I acquired a company called CopyGeek. We merged the assets together and form something a little bit bigger. But we continue to operate as CopyGeek and for 3 years. And then at the time, a gentleman by the name of Joe Burns, who owned CopyGeek, decided that he wanted to get into education. And you know what? We respected Joe's wishes, and we just continued on as the organization. And then we decided to rebrand, because trying to promote 2 separate companies under the same umbrella is really expensive, and it really detracted from our mission. And so in 2010, in June, we decided to rebrand as 360 IT Partners, but under the same corporate umbrella. So we're still the same corporation, just a different trade name. And it has just been a real winning formula for us. And so as a result of that, we saw some significant changes with the kind of clients we've been able to attract. And our culture here changed 180 degrees in a positive way. Not that we had a bad culture, but I just really felt like our people had a great vision for what it is that we wanted to accomplish. And it was really a winning formula.
Well, that sounds fantastic. Now, in the course of you're talking about your business, I picked up some of this, but I'd like to drill down. What markets, how would you say your business is split up with respect to business, business to consumer, and then a split of commercial, government, all of that?
We are exclusive B2B.
Okay.
So we made a decision three to 4 years ago that we were going to only market to companies that had 10 or more computers on their network. Not that we would shun anybody who called us who had less computers on their network, or if an individual decided that they wanted to come to us. We just decided that our marketing would be geared toward companies with 10 or more computers. And so as a result, we'd say our sweet spot is companies that have over 40 computers on their network. And that's really the right fit, the right kind of client for us in the marketplace. But we've got several clients that have got over 300 computers on their network.
Wow. Well, and you don't know how disappointed I am to hear some of that, because I've got a problematic Dell in the back seat of my car that I was, as long as I was
Bring
coming
it in. We'll be happy to take care of it. Yeah. Bring it in. Absolutely, no problem.
So no government business?
No. We actually hold government at arm's length.
That's especially in this area. That's fascinating. But can you tell why? Just complexities of doing business?
Yeah, I think it's the complexities. And early, in my early days of doing business, in the startup, we had some trials and tribulations with the government, and them holding payment from us. And I've always been a little shy of it, and I really just never have gravitated toward the government acronym system of purchasing, and it's a different world, and it's just something I just never felt a strong gravity toward.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I've got firsthand experience in what you're talking about, so I can absolutely relate. As I walked in to your office, I saw several plaques and ads and such on the wall. Can you tell us about any of your more significant awards?
Yeah, I'm just, I love our area, I love our community, and I'd love to give back to the community. And so, I really believe in trying to make a difference. So I was a member and am a member of the Lions Club in Thalia, part of the international organization or International Association of Lions. And at one point I was basically it was like an area manager. They called it a zone chairman. And I'm really honored to receive the highest award for humanitarian service, called the Melvin Jones Fellowship.
Oh, wow.
So
that's great.
That's an honor.
Well, congratulations
on
that.
Thank you for that. So that's one that hangs here in my office proudly. The Melvin Jones Fellowship. He was the founder of Lions Club International. And then I've also am past president of the club, as well as past president of the Entrepreneurs Organization, EO. Here's a local chapter, EO Southeast Virginia. We're part of an international organization as well. 8,000 members worldwide in 40 different countries throughout the world. Extremely influential organization. And the mission of EO is to build the most influential group of entrepreneurs worldwide. And I think they're doing a terrific job.
For any of our listeners who aren't familiar with the EO organization, as Martin is indicating, it's an international group, and it's not even available for just anyone. I mean, you have to have accomplished certain levels of business, etc., to really be qualified to be a member. And in fact, this interview is one of several that we are working with in partnership with the Entrepreneurs Organization Southeast. So I think, Martin, you're the second interview that we have. So with the first one being a colleague of ours and current president,
Brad
Scott. So it is a great organization, and I think with respect to to what we're trying to do in the region, defined as, in part, economic gardening, which
Mm-hmm.
is defined as helping small business. Perhaps you can share some of your observations about how you think EO could be a good catalyst to assist startups and small, medium-sized business.
Well, I think it's evidenced by just mentioning Brad Scott. I mean, Brad just became Young Entrepreneur of the Week of the Year
Yeah.
by the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get any better than that. Brad has built a terrific company. He's a bright guy. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him, and he's one great example of doing business right. And you know what? As far as economic gardening, I just look at where our markets come. Hampton Roads as an economic community, I've seen the great strides that we've made just in the past 10 years with all the new development going on. It's very positive. I think that our city leaders are just doing a great job, bringing their vision to fruition, having outside money come in to really help kind of build our local economy. There's some great projects, some great initiatives that are really helping us become stronger economically. And I think that we still have a real long way to go. I mean, there's some significant transportation issues that we need to deal with to really kind of help grow and foster the economy. And so anything that leads to the initiative of growing our economy and being able to bring more quality jobs to our community is something that I'm all about.
Well, that's great. Thanks so much for that, Martin. And let me just add that I think you're in good company, but you're also a working example and an excellent example for this community, technology, and city and region as well.
Thank you.
So let's go back to when you were starting up your business, and without, of course, any of the details, but sharing your experience. From a financial perspective, was this a bootstrap? Was there SBA loans, bank, friends and family, venture capital, anything?
This was a complete bootstrap.
Really?
Absolutely, yeah. We started Tomar. It was actually three of us: Tom Conley, a gentleman named Martin Bowers, and myself. So two Martins and a Tom, hence Tomar.
Mm-hmm.
And we each took $100 out of our pocket and started in 1990.
$100.
$100 each, right? And we were completely conservative. I think the first investment that we made was to become a member of the Chamber of Commerce.
Wow.
That simple. Beyond actually going down to the city and getting a business license, that was the first investment we made. And we were absolutely humble in starting. And basically, we didn't borrow a penny to make it happen.
That is an outstanding story. I mean, completely self-built. Good for you. So realizing that not all businesses can do that, the complexities and the expense levels are different, but the fact that you did it is an example that it can be done.
Absolutely.
It can be done.
And you just have to have a tremendous amount of constraint and be ultra conservative. I can tell you for years I operated with a very meager salary.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that they own a business and they can borrow some money and they can live a lavish lifestyle, and it's probably the worst thing you could possibly do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you really need to make sure that you've got cash reserves to be able to pay your people, pay your suppliers and vendors, and then hopefully pay yourself.
So you're touching upon an extremely important topic here, and if I could branch off, I mean, what you're referring to is really discipline and business training.
Absolutely.
Where did you get your business training from?
Obviously, I had the real benefit of starting to work early. I mean, I had my first job at 15, and I worked a variety of different jobs. Worked my way through college by working at Farm Fresh. I started working at like Revco Pharmacy, and just had the ability to be a part of the workforce at an early age, and then going to business school and get my degree was a big benefit, particularly learning about accounting.
Mm-hmm.
But being able to go and work for a small computer company and work for them for say almost 5 years, I worked for this family, and I learned more than business school could ever teach me. And so I would recommend that if you wanted to become a part and own your own business, that actually go out and work in the industry that you're going to be a part of, and really get that experience under your belt. And I know that helped me tremendously.
That's very, very sound advice. Education is a wonderful thing, but there's no substitute for experience, and I think that's what you're raising here is equally important as getting one's degree.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How about any challenges along the way? I mean, you talked about the history of your organization, and what kind of challenges did you see as you grew it from essentially your bootstrap startup up to the level of business that you have now?
Well, just the sheer fact that we're in technology is a challenge to begin with. Our market changes every day. The biggest challenges we've faced have just been finding the right people, and it's just it's difficult in finding the people that basically share your core values and beliefs about how you want to run your business, and then more importantly, we found that we've brought on great people, but you know what, we over time it's just a matter of execution. And so, having great people on your team really makes a difference. And we've been very fortunate here at 360 IT in that, we have just incredible people. They're very talented. They're passionate about what they do. They care about our clients. And I think that really makes a difference.
You're talking about some of the workforce challenges here, and I can see where that would be a primary challenge as you're growing your business. When you talk about workforce in this area, what are you seeing in terms of the soft skills as well as the technical skills? So certainly in your business, somebody's got to have a great deal of technical expertise. But what about the work ethic and the personal discipline and the soft skills side of the business that make somebody a good employee?
Yeah, those are the difficult things to measure. And we've just found that it just really takes the right person who has the right kind of personal experiences in their lives and really kind of understand how they can communicate effectively with others, and more importantly, take life's experiences and be able to kind of treat others as they would expect to be treated. Especially from a customer service standpoint, our philosophy here at 360 IT is really simple. We just simply want to treat customers as we would expect to be treated when we go out there in the consumer, and so it's a very simple philosophy that we take forward with us, and we really instill that in all of our people.
And you touch upon an excellent point, and that my next question was one about business culture, expectations, and philosophy. So you've spoken to some of that. What else can you tell us about the culture within your company?
Yeah, it's kind of unique, right? Because we have some pretty technically minded people. Let's just face it. Technicians and they get the rap of geek, right? And so it's just amazing what you really just get to understand and know the personalities of these folks and how endearing they are. But the culture is kind of a unique culture here because we have business professionals, and then we also have we call them, they're not geeks at all, but they're bright, talented, technical people, and so we kind of find a blend between business and fun. But ultimately, what we try to do is when we talk to our clients, we want to talk to our clients at a level that they appreciate, right? We don't try to overspeak them and geek speak them and just kind of like confuse the heck out of them, right? Because God knows it's difficult for them to keep up with technology. We don't want to impose on them. We really just want to solve the problems, and so we do it with passion, and we do it with care.
Outstanding. So let's talk about mentorship. Now let's talk about first the dimension of any guidance and mentorship that you might get or have gotten along your way, in terms of individuals, peer groups.
Yeah, I'm so fortunate to be a part of two peer groups, in fact. One is one that we mentioned, EO, Entrepreneurs Organization. Just it has truly just transformed me as an individual, and it really does complete me, not only from a business aspect but from a personal aspect. Even my wife is involved as a spousal EO forum, and she absolutely loves it. Even my daughter has come to me, and she's 15 now, but when she was 14, she says, "Dad, I'm so happy that you're a member of EO." And I'm like, "Why is that, Megan?" She says, "Well, because when they have socials for the family, they're the best events, and the kids are just the best kids."
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, you know what, that really, drilled home with me. So, the peer group that we have there with like-minded business entrepreneurs, sharing experiences in a very controlled, respectful way is just something that is immeasurable. I also belong to a industry based mastermind group that has just been tremendous for us as well. So we share in best practices. We share tremendous amount of information about our policies and how we're delivering our services and how we can better implement. And so we're constantly looking to improve upon our delivery method.
Outstanding. So there's never an end date in terms of the learning opportunity and
Never.
experiences. There's never an end date.
Absolutely never.
Absolutely right. Let's shift over to talk about job seekers in today's economy, and from your perspective, and we talked a little bit about the challenges that you've had in that area or capacity. But what about from your point of view, how to attract and retain those qualified workers? So and sometimes, as you pointed out, you hire, you don't. It's a learning experience. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But you got to get. I'm sure you're refining your process to understand who you're looking for, the qualities and the traits that would best fit within your culture. So what about attraction and retention?
You know what? Obviously, let's start with retention. We feel as a small business our size that we have just a tremendous benefits package, and we want to create an environment where people can come and truly make a career for themselves. And that's something that, as an entrepreneur, makes me so proud. I have had almost everyone who's become a part of my organization at one point or another has been able to buy their own home. That makes me feel so good that we can give them a very competitive wage, right? A very high-paying wage with great benefits, with a retirement plan, with the ability for us to provide extra training for them to help them grow and become better and allow them to advance. That's just something that makes me proud that we've been able to kind of build an environment like that. And we try to attract those people, just simply by looking out into the marketplace and just seeing who is available. And of course, we're constantly in the process of looking at resumes and just trying to find good talented people. Because at the end of the day, if I'm looking at my balance sheet, my number one, I don't call it an expense, I call it an investment, is my people.
Absolutely right. In terms of the depth of candidates that you're seeing in this region, would you say that there's a good supply? Would you say that predominantly people are coming from military or college or other businesses? How do you see that?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been lucky enough to get a tremendous amount of veterans. And they've got great experience. They're mature. They've got good insight, good skill set. And it's been a blend of a little bit of both. So what we found is that the people that have immersed themselves in the culture of technology, who really embody technology on a daily basis. These are folks that generally have built their own networks in their own homes, who are constantly playing around with operating systems, who are constantly reading about new trends and technology and staying up to date with what's going on. When you immerse yourself and you walk the walk, and you can talk the talk, and you can feel comfortable with being able to, get involved and execute, as opposed to just having the desire to go to a classroom and get fed information. It really makes a difference when you immerse yourself in it, when you get to learn as much as you possibly can, and then be able to take that skill set in the workplace. It's unbeatable.
That's fantastic. We're getting toward the end of our time. There's a couple other things I'd like to ask you. Social media is huge. You can define it, right? Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all of the above. How active are you in terms of utilizing social media to promote your business?
Very, very much so. In fact, we have a 360 IT hat, and I've got one with your name on it.
All right.
Before you leave, and so we promote our company, so we kind of the hat is a great idea because we're able to put it on our friends, and we can take a photo and upload it out to our web page and our Facebook page, and we truly try to promote it that way. But I think it's one way of and asking our clients to like us and then follow us on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
They can really kind of see what we're doing. We really try to promote it from a community sense,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
What we're doing here as an organization. Recently, I just took the company to the circus. We had a fantastic time.
Oh, wow.
And we took a bunch of photos and we put it out on our Facebook page.
All right.
Everybody got to invite their family to come.
Very nice.
We loved it. We had a great time. We took everybody out to dinner and for pizza, and then we all went to the circus. Just everybody had a great time, and it was just a real great team building thing.
Yep.
And then when we do like our annual Customer Appreciation Day barbecue, to benefit the Red Cross, we invite our clients to come out.
Yeah.
They enjoy great barbecue, great live music. We raise money to help the Red Cross, and it's about giving back to the community.
Mm-hmm.
And so we really make our Facebook more community. It's that double bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
It's the extra bottom line beyond profit that we give back and measure what we give to the community.
So you've got an altruistic approach to business as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
In terms of giving back.
Yes.
It's a wonderful thing. What I think we've talked in many cases here, we've talked about some of the lessons that you've learned along the way, and we're almost wrapped up. But has anything stood out? Any one or two things in the course of your career that you really like to pass on as an experiential learning to any of our listeners?
Well, my philosophy is stay humble. When you feel like you've made it, good for you. But you know what? I'm too humble. You know what? I feel like I'm learning every day. I feel that when you have humility and you're humble, that you're able to be more genuine with people.
Mm-hmm.
From a character standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel that's something that's really ingrained in me.
Well, and it really comes through to me, and I want the listeners to realize that sitting here speaking with Martin, from the greeting this morning to his graciousness, to his friendliness and open demeanor, it's just I think we've all had experiences with people in business, but it's I don't want to say it's a pleasant surprise, because I've heard that you're like this, and this is my firsthand experience now. But you appear to be very humble and very gracious and very sincere in everything that you're saying.
Thank you, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate that.
I think that's it. We've got anything else you'd like to close with?
No, I want to thank Dan. You know what? Thanks for the commitment. For looking at where we are in our economy here locally and trying to push it forward. I'm pretty fortunate that I've been able to travel throughout the United States and even beyond our borders, and I just see some of the amazing cities across this country, and you know what? It's guys like Dan who got a vision, who really want to be able to put us on the map, and really kind of bring more jobs and more amazing things to our area. And I just want to thank you.
Well, that's something that I truly appreciate, and again, I'm humble as well. It's my privilege and pleasure and honor to be able to assist Hampton Roads. I'm a Chicagoan, born and raised, been here 10 years. Love it, absolutely love it. Everything, Martin, that you said about the area, I echo that it's just a wonderful place to be. And Hampton Roads is going through a challenge now with sequestration and defense spending cuts. And so it's an opportunity now for our businesses, small and medium size, large ones too, but business in general, to kind of take over and lead the charge in terms of the economy. And one way to do this is for our up and coming businesses to learn from the more established ones and the more successful ones. And Martin Joseph from 360 IT Partners is certainly a perfect example of that. So I want to thank you again for your time today, and appreciate it, and keep doing everything you're doing for your business and for our region.
My pleasure, Dan. Thank you.
Thank you.